right, you convinced me. I'm going full out vegan from here on.
Are you going vegan?
Yeah.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
So basically what we're showing is the standard practice in animal agriculture and all the other industries that exploit animals like fashion, animal testing, fur industry, leather. We're an animal rights organization. We promote veganism. If you look at the footage that we show, it covers meat, dairy, egg industries. It focuses on all animals. We want to show people where those products are coming from.
Definitely.
So the videos that we're showing shows the standard practice, and it's international. So every single country, this is how they treat animals, and they kill animals for food.
Yeah, I'm all for it. I've started to watch my documentaries and all that.
What is your position on all of that?
Like, totally against it.
Yeah?
And we try to eat as much like vegetarian as we can, but we're still sort of converting because we're used to having a lot of meat in Denmark especially, so it takes some time, but we're getting better.
Yeah.
So have you ever thought about being vegan?
I have thought about it.
Yeah?
I haven't tried it.
Yeah?
No.
Are you interested in being vegan?
Perhaps.
And would the reason be because you think this is wrong, or?
That's one of the reasons.
Yeah.
And also for the environment as
That's
well.
right. So you're aware of all the impact that it has on the environment and a
Sure.
I'm not really big on meat to begin with,
Sure.
so
What about egg and dairy?
I'm a cheese person. I do like cheese. Egg, it's neither here nor there for me.
Have you tried vegan cheese?
Yeah, I don't like the texture.
Well, there are so many different vegan products out there, and it's not going to be exactly like dairy because it's different. But some of it is really good. But veganism is not about, how we're going to do it, because we're going to figure it out somehow once we're convinced that this is wrong.
Right.
Have you ever thought about being vegan?
I have. I've been wondering how you go about doing it, because there's butter and everything, there's milk and eggs, and there's dairy and everything. So I don't know how you go about it. How do you because people always kind of assume I'm vegan, but I don't know how to keep progressing with that, because butter really is in everything. So
you're right. It is in a lot of stuff. Sometimes, you want to get bread and the bread has milk or butter or something, but it's very easy to be vegan. So you basically just go to the same supermarket, you just go to a different aisle, and you just buy a different product. There's vegan butter, there's vegan ice cream, there's all different kinds of milk, vegan yogurt. You can get everything vegan these days. It's becoming easier and easier and easier. When I went vegan 6 years ago, it wasn't anything like this. Now when I go to Whole Foods, there's a whole freezer of vegan ice cream. So, it's definitely easy to be vegan. Obviously, you don't have to eat all that kind of, fancy vegan food. You can just eat very simply, like potatoes and beans and vegetables and fruit are all vegan. So, but if you want to get those kind of products, vegan cheese, everything is available now.
all right.
It's just that, once you make that connection and you know that this is wrong and you don't want to be a part of it and you don't want to support it, that's all it takes to go vegan.
I'm not a beef eater though. I don't eat beef, but I do eat chicken still. So.
But chickens and fish are still animals, right?
Yeah,
they still
definitely.
go through the same experience. And also with dairy and egg industries are just as bad.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know much about it?
I don't.
So in the dairy industry, when cows give birth, they have to give birth to be able to produce milk, right? So they take away the baby cow from the mum, and if it's a boy, can't have babies and can't have milk, they send them to slaughterhouse, and that's veal. So they're usually very young when they're killed. Even though you're not eating the meat, you're supporting the slaughter of that baby calf by consuming dairy. And the egg industry is similar. When the chicks are born, if they're male, because they can't lay eggs, they kill them when they're 1 day old. They put them in a big macerator, that's standard practice everywhere, or they gas them alive. That's how they get rid of it, because there's no profit in it.
Yeah.
So again, they're all equally evil. Meat, dairy, and egg industry, the way they treat animals and the way they see animals is the same, and that's why we're all vegan, because if you don't want to support this and you think this is wrong, the only way is to be vegan.
I agree. I support it, definitely.
What is stopping you from being vegan?
I think a part of it is habits and
That's
laziness.
right. Yeah.
and also it sounds very spoiled, but also like the love of cheese or eggs and the stuff that you're used to. So I think sometimes it's just about trying really good vegan food and then being convinced that you can eat just as good without all the.
I can definitely relate to that because I used to love cheese and ice cream, all the dairy products.
Yeah.
But one thing you need to keep in mind is that when you think about these animals and you think that this is wrong, because you guys immediately said we're totally against that, because you can see how unnecessary it is for us to exploit them for entertainment. When it comes to food, it's a little bit harder because we've been doing it our whole life and we're so used to it. But when you focus on the victims, it becomes easier.
I have considered like trying to go from pescatarian to vegetarian and then vegetarian to vegan and making the transition. My mom is doing it, and I have a lot of friends who are doing it, but it's just like I'm in school, I'm trying to move, like there's so much going on. I can't fully commit to all of this like right now.
Yeah, I understand that it's difficult because change is always uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And because we've done it for so long, it's not easy. But once you focus on the victims, it becomes easier.
Yeah.
Because veganism is a matter of justice. It's not right to exploit these animals and murder them for food or fashion, whatever it might be. So if it was another injustice, would you take the same position? For example, when it comes to human rights, if there's a human rights movement, you're either for it or against it.
Okay, yeah.
Right? You can't be in the middle. And once you get it, then you're like, okay, I'm not going to be supporting this. I'm going to speak up about this. I'm going to do something about it. When it comes to veganism or when it comes to the animals, because of all the conditioning that we've had all these years, people are a bit more defensive, and they find it more difficult to make that last switch.
I have family they're Italian, so it's hard like for them to make food for me that's not kind of like has some sort of like seafood or like protein in it.
It's that's really minimal. Funny because that is, I would say, the number one excuse that we get on the street when we ask someone, how come you eat animal products like this, etc. They always say, you just said my family is Italian. I was speaking to someone before, they say, we're from Denmark, so we eat a lot of meat. Yesterday I was talking to someone, they said, I'm Brazilian, so we eat a lot of meat. The other day, I'm from so everyone says that. It's the excuse everywhere, and I understand because I was eating animal products for 26 years. So we all used to. I don't know anyone that was vegan,
From the very beginning.
Yeah. So I understand that it's in every culture and every country. But again, you can do it. Whatever it is that they're cooking for you, they can definitely do a vegan version of that.
That's very true.
We buy all local stuff.
That's right.
So if we buy some eggs, it's Danish eggs.
I understand.
And it's what's called ecological.
Organic and free range.
Exactly.
Can I tell you something about that? All those farms, all those labels are just there to make us as humans feel better. For the animals, it doesn't matter. In free range farms, they just have a little bit more room to roam around. But they're still sent to the same slaughterhouse at the end of the day.
In Denmark, it's another story actually, because in Denmark they are really good at making the animal feel good.
Okay.
Yeah. So I think Denmark is a whole nother country than the States.
Sure.
Yeah. So and it's a small country, so actually I can take a ride for 1 hour, and then I'm at the farm where they sell the eggs.
Yes.
From.
So do you think even if the animal had a better life, at the end of the day they're being killed at such a young age and they're still being killed for food? Do you think that's morally okay?
It's a good question. Question. No, it isn't. No, it isn't.
Do you guys think we need to eat animal products?
No, probably not.
You know that you don't need to,
not at
okay.
all. Not at
So
all.
it's just a matter of habit.
It is.
I think it is.
So if we don't need to be eating them or using them for any purpose, why are we still doing it?
Yeah. But I see what you mean.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
But I think
100%.
yeah.
I understand that it's difficult because change is always uncomfortable,
Yeah.
especially because we've done it for so long.
Yeah, exactly.
But again, when you see this and you know that this is wrong and you don't want to be a part of it, the only way to do that is to stop supporting these industries. Because every time you go to a farm or to a supermarket or to a restaurant and you pay for an animal product, you're creating demand for it.
Of course.
it'll continue.
Yeah, as soon as you start spending your money on vegan products, that's what you're creating demand for. So these industries have to go out of business. At the start, it's a little bit of research and you might need to just read the labels when you go to the store, but after a couple of weeks you get used to it. So do you guys think you're going to look into it?
Of course.
Do you think you would be vegan?
Yeah, I'm trying to get back into it.
Can I give you some information?
Yeah, sure.
Did you want to take a card as well?
Sure, why not? Thank you, Will.
Thank you for the talk.
Yeah.
Thank you for chatting
Thank
to
you
me.
for doing this as well.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Good job.
So do you guys think you're going to be vegan?
Well, as we said, it's a process.
Yeah.
And we're still adapting, but I think that
We're getting more and more towards it.
we are.
So I think it's a matter of time.
Yeah.
And also I think at some point there's not much choice really.
No, exactly.
Also because of the environment.
That's right, because we're not going to have a planet to live on, and for our kids as well.
Exactly. Yeah.
I totally understand what you're saying, but I just want to say one last thing. The more you're taking your times and the slower the process is, these animals are still being exploited and killed just for you so you can eat a meal. So just keep that in mind. And also when you do become vegan, it's also really important to speak up for them, like what we're doing.
Exactly.
You can join us, but there are other ways that you can spread the message as well, just educate everyone.
Yeah.
Because like you said, we can't keep going like this. It's really nice talking to you both.
You too.
Have a good day. Take care.
All right, you convinced me to go full out vegan from here on.
Are you going vegan?
Yeah.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Well, I'll give you a card.
Okay.
I really recommend, even though you said I'm going vegan, watch that one.
Okay.
It's a speech, it's not a footage like that, it's just someone speaking, it's very powerful. And also now that you are going vegan, that link vegan22.com, it's for new vegans like yourself. It gives you 22 days of free support.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's really good. I highly recommend it. In case you're confused about something, you don't know, you have nutrition related questions, for example, you want recipe inspirations, you want to try new products, whatever question you have, they can answer it for you and you'll have a mentor that you can directly contact. Thank you so much for chatting.
Is it okay if I speak to some of your
Of course,
other-
absolutely, go for it.
Thank you.
Take care.